Let me get in here for you. This individual was operating on the roadways. Oh, I got some feedback. Hang on. Where is that coming from? Oh, okay. Got it figured out. Okay, so it's a good thing I figured that out now before the stream has actually started here. I just wanted to touch base. I see there's some of you waiting. We're due to start at 8:45. But we're going to be joined by DCF worker, Department of Children and Families, who was nearly in a motor vehicle accident with one of the corrections officers who went doing Mach 10 out of the parking lot there, while my colleague, the Constitution State, and I were there conducting our official press activities. Some of you may or may not have heard already that there is a very severe and very dangerous overcrowding issue taking place here at Corrigan-Radgowski, to the point where the inmates are actually sleeping on the floor. We're going to talk about that a little bit this evening. We're going to talk about what we intend to do about it, who we've been in contact with. We're going to bring some things up on screen for you. We've actually gotten in contact with the Connecticut Examiner, CT Examiner, which is a prominent news entity here in the state of Connecticut. What's up, Anonymous? No, it starts at 8:45. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know why I didn't have audio there. But basically, I'm just going to leave you with this. I know I started a little early. We're due at 8:45. My guests are running a little late. I'm going to be joined by the Constitution State, DCF, Department of Children and Families caseworker who was nearly in a motor vehicle accident while transporting a disabled child, nonetheless, just last Wednesday, while the Constitution State and I were over there carrying out our official press activities. I'm going to go ahead and leave you with a little segment about that before we get started. I wanted to tell you guys that we hooked up with the CT Examiner, a very prominent and promising press entity. They're going to help us basically interview 10 witnesses, firsthand witnesses to what's actually happening in the prison, which again, there is fire code violations to the umpteenth degree. There is a criminal cover-up. There are willful, complicit, criminal participants, dutiful public servants, peace officers engaged in this criminal activity, and the taxpayers are footing the bill. We are going to put a great big spotlight on it here in the state of Connecticut. We need your help. The inmates need your help. Whether or not these non-violent offenders of, we'll say, more or less petty crimes are in fact convicted and serving a sentence, they are still citizens of the state of Connecticut, and they are still citizens of the United States of America, and they do not deserve to be treated as subhuman. I know of animals treated better than some of these inmates. So without further ado, yeah, he was out in Willimantic. He told me he's running a little behind. The DCF guy is running a little behind, so we're pushing it out closer towards 9, which is perfect because this video is about 20 minutes long, and it'll give you an idea of basically the primary context of what we're going to be focusing on here today. So I do hope you guys enjoy this. I'll see you in about 20 minutes.
Hey, you guys are good, all right? I spoke with Corrigan. I know they were trying to get you guys to leave.
Yeah.
But you guys are more than welcome to be on the property.
Right, that's what I thought.
Do whatever you guys want.
Can you explain that to them? Can
Yeah.
you escort us up and have you explain that to them?
I will. If you guys want to sit tight here, I'll go talk to them. You know what I mean? That way it doesn't cause more problems.
Sure.
But I actually just spoke to a couple people over the phone on my way here.
Perfect.
And I was like, listen,
Sorry about the smoke, sir.
No,
you're
you're
good.
out here, but
Yeah.
they wouldn't listen. And
I am so happy with this response.
No,
this is exactly what we wanted.
yeah.
You guys are going to get great publicity. You're going to be known as a hero. This is, how do we pronounce your name, sir?
Trooper Barnes.
Barnes. All right, Barnes.
Yo, you're the man.
So you guys are good. I'll go speak with them. I was on the phone with the lieutenant, the captain, and I said, you guys are good to go. You can go into the visitor section.
Yeah,
you guys
right.
already up there?
No, because he told me he was going to call the cops on us. I thought he was going to have us try to...
You guys
They
are
can't criminalize constitutionally protected activities.
Yeah, you guys are more than welcome to go to the
Check
visitor
this out.
section and do your thing, all right?
Check this out.
Let me go speak with him.
Yeah,
Guys,
clear it
just
up.
take
Thank you.
for me.
Yeah, no, let the cop do it.
Real cops.
Next stop, Corrigan Corrections. Where the prison is so overpopulated, the inmates sleep on the floor. That's right. The inmates in this prison sleep on the floor. In the rec room? In the closets?
Yeah. Counselors' offices, gym floor, anywhere where they can sit. Cops on the floor. They have prisons. You know, they have a trailer now on the back on the left side of the jail that's for pedophiles only. So all the real hardcore criminals have to be inside the jail, and people that molest kids get to hang out in the trailer and be safe and get extra. Well, they still got plenty of pedophiles inside, so it's only select pedophiles.
Oh, interesting.
This is
Go to black and white over here.
Yeah, what's he doing? That's where the other one came from. Oh, it's a PD dude. There's a man of them back there. Is that a police department?
Yeah, Montville PD is right there. You want to go audit them afterward?
Yeah. Car's got a legal tin.
Cross here. Oh, he flicked us off.
Oh,
That one.
in the Honda?
Yeah.
What a Sally.
All right, so in order to find out where the public can be, we need to make contact with that guard. I'm going to go attempt to do that. My intentions are here and they're documented. I have no ill will, no nefarious intent. I'm just looking to get a better shot, and it's basically an exercise to make sure that our First Amendment rights
This guy was just smiling.
are protected. Hey! Hey, can you send somebody out? Can you send somebody out? I can't hear you. Can you send somebody out? Can you send somebody out? He's obstructing our First Amendment protected activities. Hey, can we have an officer out here so we can just get some clarity on an issue? We don't want to criminalize ourselves in the midst of our business here. And it seems like that may occur should we proceed doing what we're doing. We just want to clarify what is public property, what is not public property, and things of that nature. We're out here. Oh, really? Okay. There's nobody in the building?
They need to call somebody back.
Okay, they got an active burglary call. Who has jurisdiction on the premises of the corrections facility? Can you tell me that before you go? State police. And do they have an office here? Oh, he's not here today. Oh, okay. What's his name? Valancourt? Okay. Thank you, sir. He's not here today.
Call Troop E. Troop E is who would respond.
Okay.
How can I help you?
Good afternoon, sir. Hey, I'm down here at the Montville PD, and they're tied up right now with a call for a burglary. They're not.
They are. We sent them to. How can I help you?
I'm out here conducting press activities, trying to gather some content on a story over at the correctional facility located across the street. I've got a number of witnesses of some very serious crimes going on in this correctional facility and fire code violations.
As you know, from the Montville guys running out of there, we've got an active situation at the moment. I'd be happy to put you on hold and we'll talk to you in a few minutes. Okay?
Excellent. Yeah, sure. Take your time. We're out here conducting official press activities. There are a number of egregious crimes and fire code violations that have taken place. We don't know if they're presently taking place. We don't want to go into the prison or anything like that. On behalf of the witnesses of what's going on inside of this correctional facility located across the street from Montville PD, but we are out here gathering content for the story, and we're being told by the guard who just keeps on egregiously. Quick update for everybody. I just gotten word from the Constitution State that he'll be backstage with us momentarily. Our friend from Department of Children and Families will also be here with us momentarily. Some of you may know that Constitution State was just live on a cop watch. The guy just never stops. So he's just running a little bit behind, but he'll be with us momentarily. We'll make it through the rest of this video. And then by that time, these guys should be with us. We're going to talk about how a corrections officer nearly ran this guy off the road. And essentially, he made a police report. We ran into him at the police department. He made a police report, and the police have done nothing about it. She began rifling through her center console, leading this man to believe that she was going to pull a gun on him. At some point, he had tried to confront her about her reckless driving. The man was sweating because he was livid at what just happened. He's responsible for the welfare of a child, a disabled child nonetheless. And that child's life was, in fact, endangered due to this correction officer's reckless driving and criminal activity. And it begs the question, what is going on, in that person's head? What are they doing inside of the prison to forge the paranoia that is behind, and the guilt that is behind the misconception that this person confronting me for my reckless driving is here to harm me or to threaten my life, like us with cameras. We see it all the time. If we go back just 20, 30 years ago, people would say, "Hi, Mom," and wave when they find themselves coincidentally in the presence of a video camera. And today it's not like that at all. This corrections officer, like every single person, every prison guard, everybody leaving or coming to that property was flicking us off, giving us dirty looks, or doing Mach 10, like, "Oh, you ain't getting my license plate." Like, just the treatment that we have to endure is just disgusting, and that's what they're doing visibly on the outside. So, anyway, I digress. We'll get back into this. Yelling and screaming at me that he's going. we'll get back into this, and when our friends join us, we'll all dive in. We got some good information for you. We got some good news. We've made some good contacts. We got the CT examiner. We'll pull up some info on them. We've been in correspondence with them. We've been in correspondence with the mayor of Montville. I've been in correspondence with the state fire marshal's office, and even the city fire marshal. And everyone just wants to throw their hands up and act like it's not happening. But I think, with 10 former inmates with firsthand knowledge coming forward, and being willing and able to share the insight and the reality of what's going on behind these cold prison walls, is going to help, put a fire under these asses a little bit. That's the idea here. And perhaps we can get some justice by being the voice of these fellow citizens of ours who happen to be in prison for nonviolent petty crimes. But here we go. Going to call the police if I attempt to access the publicly accessible driveway and take some photos and do my official business here. We've come from the other side of the state. We've traveled a great many miles to be here today, and I'm requesting one of our fine, dutiful troopers come out and assist us and help us define what is publicly accessible and help keep this out of control security guy at bay here, because he seems to think we don't have official business here, despite the fact that we do, and he's told me that he's going to call the police on me. So I want to make sure that I'm not committing any crimes, and I want to make sure that everybody here understands the law, so that I don't wind up in illegitimate trouble. You know what I'm saying? I need some help here.
Okay, where are you trying to walk up and drive up to?
We're on foot. We just want to walk up the publicly accessible driveway to the prison and take some photos and video. We could have been out of here 20 minutes ago.
All right, well, all my guys are tied up going to that burglary, so once they clear, I can have them drive down there, but it's not going to be anytime soon.
I'd like to just be able to access the publicly accessible roadway there to do my business without being arrested. I can almost guarantee this department, your troop, is going to get a call from this corrections facility if I walk up that public driveway to do that. I would like some reassurance that I'm not going to be arrested and that my First Amendment protected activities here are not going to be criminalized today.
I haven't been down there in a while. I don't know where it's posted or not, so I can send the troop down there a little bit, but it's not going to be anytime soon.
Okay, thank you.
So two departments have no cops.
Corrigan-Radgowski.
Hi, can you tell me where the entrance is for the public, people visiting or people just, out here covering a story on the prison? Like, where does the public enter the premises?
Public?
Yeah, the citizens. Where do we go to enter the premises? No, not necessarily, but we'd like to know where the publicly accessible areas are on the premises. There is none?
No. Not unless you're coming to business.
So if someone's in the midst of gathering content for a news story, a press story,
Stay off state property. There's a sign at the entrance there. Just read the sign.
Yeah, there's nothing that says that there's no access. There's no trespassing signs posted. There's a Department of...
At the entrance there?
Yeah.
All right, make sure you read that, because you will be...
Well, I've been here before. I've been on the property before. The police have been called before, and I wasn't trespassed before.
Why are you asking me this?
Well, because the guard at the post, I'm trying to explain it to you if you listen. The guard posted...
I don't need
The guard posted is telling me that he'll call the police.
We'll take care of that,
Okay, well,
Yep.
yeah, you too.
What a loser.
There we go. Hands off. Hats off, man. Hands down. Constitution State, man. Taking no guff from the swine. What'd they tell you up there?
That I can't be there because I don't have official business. I said my camera makes it official business. You can't tell me what my business is. More if I'm not visiting people, I can't be here. I kept asking them if they have people sleeping on the floors, which I believe in my heart that they do, because all of them, every time I said it, would like look away, not answer. Like if you didn't have people sleeping on the floors, you'd be like, no, we're not doing that. No. I said, it's funny how when you guys are all on the back side of these gates, you're all badasses. And then you come outside of the gate and somebody's got a camera on you. Now you got to call CSP with guns and badges because you're scared. Yeah, they're coming. That's why I came back down.
Okay.
We'll wait for him here and then we'll get an escort up.
Okay. Sounds good.
There's 2 in the car. Oh, you trying to harass the working man. And I said, you know what's funny is that's what you're doing.
Right.
I said, I'm out here trying to work
and you're
harassing me. I said, that's funny that you'd say that.
Right.
The dude, that one driving around the little SUV, he's so mad. Like, just because you're saying it don't make it true, bud. Nah, this is state property. I said, yeah, which is?
Right.
What?
The people's.
And you don't get it. They're so brainwashed. He was talking to the state police when I was walking down. That's what he was giving them your description. He's wearing an orange blazer. I told him too. I said, what happened the last time people were here recording? And they said, nothing, because they were down by the road. I said, no. I said, I know there was people up here. And I said, what happened? Here he is.
What's up, guys?
Thank you.
Hey, you guys are good, all right? I spoke with Corrigan. I know they were trying to get you guys to leave.
Yeah.
So you guys are more than welcome to be on the property.
Right, that's what I
Or
thought.
do whatever you guys want.
Can you explain that to them? Can
Yeah.
you escort us up and have you explain that to them?
I will. If you guys want to sit tight here, I'll go talk to them. You know what I mean? That way it doesn't cause more problems.
Sure.
But I actually just spoke to a couple people over the phone on my way here. And
Perfect.
I was like, listen.
Sorry about the smoke, sir.
No,
you're
out
good.
here, but like, they wouldn't listen. And
I am so happy with this response.
No,
this is
I got
exactly what we wanted.
Yeah.
You guys are going to get great publicity. You're going to be known as a hero. This is, how do we pronounce your name, sir?
Trooper Barnes.
Barnes. All right, Barnes.
Yo, you're the man.
So you guys are good. I'll go speak with them. I was on the phone with the lieutenant, the captain, and I said, you guys are good to go. You can go into the visitor section.
Yeah,
you guys
right.
already up there?
No, because he told me he was going to call the cops on us. I thought he was going to have us try to...
You guys
They
are
can't criminalize constitutionally protected activities.
Yeah, you guys are more than welcome to go to the
Check
visitor
this out.
section and do your thing, all right?
Check this out.
Let me go speak with him.
Yeah,
Guys,
clear it
just
up.
here
Thank
for
you.
me.
Yeah, no, let the cop do it.
Real cops. This is our property. This is our property. Now they're gonna line. Get out his body sometime. Get that out.
Yeah, we'll get the call number before he leaves. That way there, when we call for the record, we give him the call number.
You guys, this is, you know what though, and I can say my experience, dude, Troop E
Is good?
has been the most respectful. I mean,
Well,
I haven't
they
dealt
didn't-
with them much, but the 2-3 times that I have, dude, they've always been like this.
Well, that's good. So hats off to Troop E.
We gotta find out where they're picking their people from, because
Prime example. See, they're not all tyrants.
no,
right? They're
absolutely not.
not. There are good
This one's
cops.
awesome.
This one's a good cop.
He knew it before we even do. He knew what the kid was.
They're so bad.
They are. They're trying to control property, dude, that's not even theirs. They rent this. We pay for it. For our people to go to jail in. And we facilitate for them to work at. And instead of them just working, they lie. And they lie. And then they look at, they wanted us to be trespassed, and they wanted us to be in that jail tonight, dude, so they could spit on our food.
They give us dirty looks. They treat us like criminals.
I kept up there, I told
All right. It looks like we got the Constitution State. Can't really hear anything he says. All right. Let's see if we can help him with his audio issues here. Hey. We got audio. Yes, no, maybe. Mic checker. Go to that little gear, buddy. Go to your audio settings. inside of Restream inside the browser.
Can you hear me?
Yep. Yep, I can hear you now.
I fixed it.
Perfect.
I did what you said earlier. It just hit me. I'm like, oh, I didn't have time to do that. So I went in. For some reason, my speaker was to something else, not my phone. So it was like skipping, chick, 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 but I fixed it.
Perfect. Now, what'll happen on occasion is, well, actually, I'm not hearing any feedback, so you're good to go. But usually when other people are talking, I'll mute my mic, but it doesn't seem like you're getting any feedback, so you're good to go. Folks, if you want to see the rest of that video I just had up, you're going to have to see it on my channel. I'll put the link up in the chat for you. And you can also go to Constitution State's channel. He's got his angles and his back and forth with the correction officers. You know, he had the gall and the courage to walk on up there. We talked it out, hammered out the risks involved, and I wasn't comfortable, taking on any more cases and stuff right now. But,
we needed, the way it went, we needed to do it like that anyways, dude, because there's not, if I didn't go, you would have went. One of us had to go. So we both couldn't go because very well, if I got arrested like we thought was a very real possibility, I mean, I gave you my keys, my wallet, I gave you everything so that if that did happen, you could go get money out and come back and get me. I feel like that's a better route than us both going up there getting jammed up.
Right. Yeah, we played it well. We played it smart. We got this guy. I can't remember his name. I feel awful rude. Do you recall his name? The DCF guy?
I don't know if he ever gave it to us, to be honest.
All right. Well, he's due around now. He'll be on with us shortly. Hopefully he comes through. If not, we can always give him a call. I could give him a call. I got the phone here.
Well, let me see. I'll jump up and send him a text real quick. I'll be right back.
Okay. I'll recap for the audience that may or may not just be joining us what's going on here. So if you are just joining us, we're going to be talking about Corrigan-Radgowski, Radgowski or Radgowski? Yeah, let's take a peek here.
Okay, I sent him a message.
Radgowski. Okay. We're talking about the Corrigan-Radgowski Correctional Facility.
Radgowski.
Yeah. Radgowski.
Yep, you got it.
Yeah, okay. And it's located in Montville, Connecticut. I don't have note of the warden's name here in front of me.
I had it. I forgot it. I can get that too if we need to.
It's actually on the sign for viewers who are interested. It's on the sign in the beginning of our videos. I'm sure it's right there in that sign.
It is. I got it on the building too. It had a sign that stated everybody's name, the warden.
Okay, so I've been trying to, get involved and create a correspondence with the mayor and with the appropriate channels to address what, seems to be a very serious problem. And there's a lot of people talking about it, and they have been for years, right? So we got a timeline of this stuff going on. I think it's part of the reason why we were met with such resistance here.
Since 2005, bud. That's as far back as I've gotten so far. That I have people stating that was going on in 2005. It's what, 15, 6, 17 years now.
We're talking about overcrowding, people. Overcrowding to the point where inmates are sleeping 4, maybe 6, maybe 7 inches away from each other on the floors. You had a personal experience along with a great many of other inmates.
You know what? You're going to like this. My roommate, I just came home and was filling him in on it because I haven't seen him in days and days. And he reminded me that they had the church cleared out and people sleeping in the church in Corrigan.
Wow.
So not just offices, not just the gym, the church, dude. Like any open spot that they could fit a bed, they fit a bed.
Right. If they could fit a body in a closet, there's somebody sleeping in the closet.
Absolutely.
Okay. So, and that's not an exaggeration. That's not media hype, shock jock nonsense. That's really happening.
Real life.
Right. And now there's an inmate that you had an experience with as well with many, this guy was known to many others. He was he touched a lot of people's hearts. Okay. He was a special kind of guy. And he fell ill in the prison, right? And they, the correction officers all of a sudden take on the role of doctor, right? All of a sudden they all got PhDs and they're primary physicians, and they're trying to convince this guy who's dying that he's detoxing. He's been in there for like 6 months. He's not detoxing anymore, guys. Okay.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Okay. Like, you don't even need to be a doctor to be able to figure that out. But like the way we were met at, with that behavior in the driveway, amplify that by 1,000. They're behind these prison walls. They think this is never going to come back to them, and no one's ever going to know. And the inmates are always going to be inmates, and they're never going to amount to nothing or be able to buy a camera and become a journalist, right?
They really believe that in their souls. They believe that it's
what are you
okay.
They think, what are you going to do about it? Even if it's not okay, they go, what are you going to do about it?
That's a fact. They literally say that because they know that those people behind those walls can't speak up and won't. You know what I mean? Like,
so what we're going to do here is we're going to be the voice, and we're going to let the Constitution State fill you in on that man's story and what ultimately happened to him in his tragic, untimely death. That is, his life, his soul is on the hands of the state of Connecticut, as far as I can tell.
Absolutely.
And the inhumane, cruel treatment to our fellow citizens, despite the fact that they are, prisoners, they still are citizens. It is just unbecoming of the Constitution State. And we're going to put an end to it. You're going to help us, and we would encourage any inmates here that might join this show with us tonight to engage with us in the live chat. By the way, maybe I should say hello to everybody. I did see Joe Cool in the house. Joe, don't hit anybody too hard with that wrench, brother.
Yeah. Hey, Bud. I just want to answer a question real quick. We got something in the chat from a non-mouse who's actually usually pretty active. He asked if it was, so is this a TV reporter that approached you guys, not the one who's coming on tonight, but the guy who you was going to meet with? The guy who was supposed to jump on tonight is actually a DCF worker for the state of Connecticut, that one of the prison officials was speeding out of the parking lot, and we both actually commented on them driving, how they were driving. Well, when they left the prison, they almost ran this dude off the road who was transporting a disabled child, and it really upset him. He was mad, so I guess he pulled up. I don't know exactly what he did, but he tried talking to her, and he said the chick started rifling through her center console, and he stated he felt like she was digging for a weapon. So he backed off, he got behind her, and he recorded her driving. He went to the police station, he made a report. When we went to the police station to give accommodations to Barnes, we actually met this individual and showed him our footage of this lady speeding out of the prison. So we have a timeline of what she's doing and how she's acting, and the police still don't want to do anything. But we did have we talked to a CT Examiner, which is a local media outlet, and they're really interested in what's going on in this prison. They didn't make any promises yet, but they said that they want to look into it. I feel like she wanted to hear from more people because she was like, I've never heard of this. How has this never been exposed?
Well, she's in the preliminary trust and verify stage of things. She wants to corroborate more information and
make sure
talk to
really
more
happening.
people. Right, verify that these are genuine former inmates that they served when they say they served, and things of that nature. And perhaps the details between these people might even be the same. Maybe they were on the same bus. You never know what kind of connections we might make bringing these people together.
Absolutely.
So, like I said, we're going to be the voice. We'll be joined by this guy who works for DCF, because it has so many different names around the nation. For those of you in various parts of the country, DCF is the Department of Children and Families. Yep. Some states call it CPS, Child Protective Services. He was transporting a disabled child when this incident occurred. So we're following up with him because we're going to request the body cam footage. We're going to go right down to Middletown tomorrow and read the police report on it. We're going to see what the trooper's narrative is on it, find out who handled it and things. And we'll get a few other things done while we're out there. The CT Examiner is a prominent news entity here in the state of Connecticut. I think they are genuinely interested because the fast response, you know, I just wrote them on a Facebook Messenger last night, and within this morning's first couple hours waking up, it was like they hit me back and were like, hey, do you have a phone number? You know, one of my reporters wants to reach out. Boom. Within 2 minutes of throwing my number over and typing over some more information, I got a phone call and we talked for like 20 minutes. Later, she followed up with the Constitution State. So we started plugging away, making some phone calls, getting in touch with some former inmates that we know, and people that we know may want to talk about this sort of thing. And sure enough, between the two of us, mostly you, we've got about 10 people, roughly.
It's almost up to 15 now. I got more people coming forward every couple minutes.
Yeah, that's even better because that's what we need.
Let me speak.
Boru. Oh, hey, wait.
Died.
Yeah, just a minute. Just let's give the man Boru the floor. Boru, thank you so much.
That's my guy right there. I love Boru.
Yeah, let's talk about this guy that died. Thank you for the donation, my man. You were the man. Let's talk about your friend. Go.
So I was in jail from 2009 to 2017. I was in and out. I had a drug problem, and I paid for it with the state of Connecticut. But I met this guy, and his name was Tony Pedraza. I had known who he was. He had actually dated my kid's mother way before I did. Like, we just never hung out on the street, and we actually got our beds put like almost right next to each other in the gym, and we actually became really good friends. And after, I think I did like 45 days, and I made bond because at that time my kid's mother was pregnant, so I was trying to be home for the birth of my daughter, which still didn't work. So I was only home, I think, like 30 days. And right before I think it was 3 days before I went back, we found out this kid died. And it was the CT Examiner looked it up today, and she said something about meningitis, which is, she said, you get from living in close quarters. My understanding of what happened was, because I literally talked to everybody 3 days later. I have the kid that took care of the kid that was dying and did die. For 2 weeks, this kid was like taking care of him. They had to move his bed right next to the bathroom because he couldn't even get up and go to the bathroom. Like, it was serious. And the jail literally kept telling him, oh, you're detoxing, or you got a cold. And I believe it was like 2 weeks before people really, like, inmates started really getting fed up, and they stood up. Like, there was going to be like a mini riot or something. And they finally called in like higher up people, and somebody seen them and was like, dude, this is wrong. And they never usually just call an ambulance to the prison and have you taken. They usually bring you through their transport, you know what I mean, their way. Well, they ended up calling an ambulance. And when you go to jail in Connecticut and you have to go to the hospital, they bring you to Yukon. That's who, like, their contracts.
Now, let me just stop you real quick there. Yukon Medical Center is located in the Farmington Valley, and it is riddled with social workers and students, right? It's hard to find a doctor, especially during the big C word thing going on. It's hard to find a good doctor in there doing good things because they're off in other hospitals helping other people with more serious events. But anyway, I digress. They were good. My father just had a serious incident with heart failure and stuff, and they saved his life. So, I mean, I'm not disparaging them, but it is a controversial place to go to. It's not the best
don't
care.
They have a bunch of trainees there too, like people learning?
That's what I'm talking about. And then the student will actually do the critical stuff, even if it's really invasive.
Yep.
And the doctor just kind of watches. It's almost like an internship. And this is how they log their hours pre-registered nursehood or pre-doctor or pre-surgeon, whatever. You know, this is how they learn. They get their hands-on thing. And on one hand, it's like great, but I don't want to be the guy on the end of that knife, you know.
No.
And if you're a prisoner, you're certainly not going to have a hell of a choice.
No, you have no say, zero say.
And if you live on the other side of the state, you're not even going to know. You're just going to trust that everyone in a lab coat knows what they're doing. And here you are, this person's first time they're ever holding a scalpel.
Yeah. It's true, though. So what ended up happening, though, is this is what I heard. We're going to find out more, I think, through the process. But I heard it was like it was like an infection in his nose, like almost like a sinus infection. Really bad, though. and they actually had to like go in and clean it out, and they did. But who knows if it's something they did or not? But I heard that went all fine and like he was okay. And the next day he actually got a blood clot, and that's what killed him. But he still would, like I said, dude, he was supposed to go to a program 3 weeks before this.
His time was served. He was due in court, and the court ordered it already, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And he was supposed to appear to execute the order and be released or something to that effect?
To a program.
To a program which consisted of what? Like a rehabilitation of some kind, accelerated?
Like I think it was, I forgot where they send it. What's in Middletown? The Middletown program.
I'm not sure. There's so much.
It'll hit me, but that's where he was supposed to. There's only a couple programs that DOC will send you to, and I believe it was a 45-day, 30 to 45-day, like drug program. You know what I mean? He wasn't in there for anything serious. He was in there for petty drug. I believe it was a violation of probation, and that's why he couldn't go home that day. He had to go to the program because they still had him by the balls.
And he died there, and he didn't even belong there.
No, he belonged in the program.
And it's due to the criminal negligence of the guards playing doctor. For how long? How many months did this go on?
I mean, he was in there, I believe, like 8 months, maybe 6 to 8 months, but he was only like real sick for I think 2 to 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And they just neglected. Like they do have. Don't get me wrong. They do have a medical unit there. That's why Corrigan's what it is. It technically is a medical jail. So they do have staff there that's technically
medically.
Qualified,
yeah, right.
But
the relationship is so deteriorated.
Yeah, that's what
I was we're not even in the prison, and they were treating us like criminals.
Yep.
So imagine what they're doing to the prisoners in there, who they allow and permit to sleep on the floor. They are willing, criminally complicit participants in inhumane practices and conditions taking place within the confines of those prison walls, man. Yep. And somebody died.
Well, and listen to this, bud. So there's a little office there that's like closed off. You can't like just go in there. There's a door. There's glass. Like, so that's where they literally sit the whole time. 25 feet away, dude. You got people smoking cigarettes. Not even real cigarettes. These dudes would take they're called tiermen, and they take the trash out. They work for the jail, but they're inmates, and they would take the trash out and they would steal these dudes. It's disgusting, but they would take the chew that the officers use.
And they probably spit it over there on purpose. Like, yeah.
Well, no, they dig it out of the trash and then they dry it out and they roll it. They would roll it into cigarettes. And like, dude, you know me, I smoke cigarettes like a fiend, but I'm not smoking that, dude.
So you know what? One way or another, at the end of the day, that contraband makes its way back into the prison as a result of
the COs.
Thank you.
And it's sad, but like literally 25 feet away smoking that shit. That shit stinks. You know, they just don't care. They stay in that bubble, dude, 24/7. You got people out yelling and screaming at 3 a.m. Like you couldn't even sleep in there, dude, because everybody's up all night having a party, and they just don't do their job at all. They pack everybody in there, and then that's just what it is. You're stuck here. We're not going to do our job. We're not going to do anything, but you're stuck here on this floor.
Obviously, the state of medical care is pretty poor inside of Corrigan-Radgowski, whether they have facility staff or not. Well, yeah, I mean, a man has died, and they're stepping over inmates that they have sleeping 6 inches apart, like sardines in a goddamn can, literally.
And they don't care at all.
And they think, I mean, you heard it yourselves on the video I played prior to engaging with the Constitution State here. I don't know where our friend is. Maybe we could pay him a call.
Try and call him, because I sent him 2 messages. I sent him 2.
Yeah, I'll try.
He did tell me he was running late, and he asked me to push it back to 9, and I said, yeah, that's fine. And then I just haven't heard anything. But give him a ring.
Keep the people going. Don't give me any dead air.
I won't. I'll talk about what just happened in Willimantic and what we got coming up Saturday. I got something for us to go do. So I just was on my way home. Right now, I literally just got home when I jumped on, and I stopped at Stop and Shop in Willimantic to grab something to eat. So as I'm getting out of the car, I hear the Willimantic cops pulling somebody over right outside of Stop and Shop. So I went over, I was recording they were on the opposite side of the road. So I was recording, everything was cool. There was no crosswalks anywhere. So after a few minutes, I decided to cross and get a better view. As I'm crossing, dude, the cop, and I've seen these guys a million times. They're my local cops. That's who I record more than anybody. And I've never had an issue with this dude, except for tonight, I guess. He did not want me on that side of the road. Started screaming at me and telling me I got to go over there. And I told him, no, I'm not doing that. Just real rude, man. And I don't know what's up with these Willimantic cops. They just do whatever they want. I mean, they do it. A lot of it's because the police department doesn't hold them accountable. Like I said, it was right near where I caught the officers parked on the road that day. They parked, on the sidewalk. They park on the sidewalk. I walk up, they start recording me back. Not one, both of them, two. Cambacks, using their loudspeakers to ask me to smile, all this stuff. So then I realized they were parked on the sidewalk and told them to move. Well, they wouldn't move. He got scared and called his supervisor. And after 20 minutes, his supervisor showed up. So, and then they made a move, of course. And when I was at the PD writing my complaint for that, the dude actually walked through the lobby and called me a snitch. And it's funny because I put that in my complaint and they left that whole part out of my complaint and found no wrongdoing. They said that the officers stated they weren't filming. Even though they were holding their cameras up, they were asking me to smile. They were doing everything that indicates they were filming. They just took their word and said, oh, they said they weren't filming. So I'm glad to see Willimantic doesn't investigate their own officers. I feel like if that was a citizen that was saying those things and had every indication pointing that that's what they were doing, they would absolutely arrest them, ticket them, jail them, beat them, whatever they wanted to do over it. But since it's a cop, they could get away with it. But I held my ground, man. Guru, good to see you. But so the video's out. It's alive, but I'm gonna chop it up. Mouse, you were there. They were just being rude, man. Like screaming at me. I stood my ground. But what was real cool was at the end, the cop that was actually driving and initiated the traffic stop came over and talked to me. I see him all the time. And he's honestly one. I got a few cops in Willimantic I like, but he's up at the top. Like, he came over, asked me what was wrong. And I told him, man, like, this dude just started screaming at me. Like, I wouldn't even have said anything tonight and screamed at me for no reason. So I stood my ground and I pounded back on him, and I ended up staying where I wanted to stay and doing what I wanted to do, and he left. But that's what I'm going to tell you, Slayer. Are you listening? Can you hear me?
Yep.
So Saturday, actually, Saturday. So when I just did what I did with the Willimantic cops, the canine cop is actually John, and he's really cool. I met his old dog and stuff. He ended up getting a new dog. He had to retire his old dog, and he's been trying to get me to come see him. And you know what I mean? He's trying to get him to interact with people. And I think that's good stuff. It's good for the public to see. You know,
probably get out to the dam or go where he goes running and training with the dog. I think sometimes they take him up to Mansfield Hollow.
Well, no, this is what I found out too. They actually train dude at the old Connecticut Light and Power right next to Taco Bell. That's why.
That's right on Main Street.
That's why they're always sitting there. Before I started auditing, dude, they were sitting there every day in that parking lot.
And you're going, why? What are they doing? What are they doing?
They stopped, dude. You go through town now, I haven't seen them parked there in months. Because every time I go through, they'd be sitting there, and I'd pull in my car and just start taping them. And now they don't sit there. Go ahead.
Okay.
But that's Saturday. If you want to go do that, I'll bring you with me. He invited me, but you know what I mean?
Oh, I would love to join you.
Yeah,
that's coming up
Saturday.
This coming Saturday?
Yeah, we can do it whenever, but he told me he has...
Let's do it.
I asked him about tomorrow, and he said he had tomorrow off, so he said he'll be around Saturday. And I asked him where, because I don't got no way to get in touch with just him. So he said he'll be around Gilson all day. So all we got to do is get in the car and go find him, and we'll
we'll find him.
Yeah, it'll be easy. It's not. He's a good dude.
Willimantic is a small town.
Oh, yeah.
For folks who don't know.
But you know what's weird is for as small as it is, dude, they hide pretty good.
Right. Well, there's a lot of little nooks and crannies for the police to hide in. The people fall in, and the police snatch them up like spiders, arachnus.
What happened with the phone call?
Our man did not answer.
He might. Who knows? He might be going through something.
Stage fright. Yeah, maybe some stage fright. Maybe he's going through something. I don't think he has any objection to us looking at anything, looking into anything.
But he was he was. I don't want to say nervous, but he was worried about just what we say and what we do, because he does have that thing going with the state of New York, so he didn't want to give them any ammo on him.
I see. Less is more. He's just trying to keep his head down.
Yeah, but he did. I mean, he said he was watching my live earlier, so he definitely
Right.
watched it.
Perhaps under the condition of anonymity, we could do something statically with him. Yeah, I was going to tell you, turn your phone sideways if you can, and then there's a little button that you can hit in the settings in your browser. It'll change the orientation on your phone. Not available while live on my end, it says. But you could go 16:9, or you can go portrait.
Where do I do that? Because I got my thing sideways now.
Right. But you probably have it set to portrait. It's not in settings on mine. It's where you change the layout and above the settings. Like it's
weird on mine because it's not, since we're doing it through.
Try disconnecting and see if it comes up as an option before you connect, because I did see it on my phone. You can go.
Right.
Yeah.
Hold on.
All right. I'm sorry, but I think our DCF guy bailed. We are going to go and pull the record for inspection tomorrow. So we will bring that to you tomorrow. I hope that compensates you enough for the loss of that this evening. I am a little disappointed. That guy was high energy. Oh, yeah, see, it worked.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, you're sideways now. That's a much better picture. Good. See, that's the man of the hour. This guy, is doing a fine job here in the state of Connecticut. He's on the verge of 20,000 subscribers.
Yep. Even the cop just said that, dude. He's like, dude, you guys are doing awesome. He's like, you blew up. Like, but it's just work, man. It's, you know what I mean?
It is work. It's official business, which is why our last video at the prison is so powerful. Because they are literally engaged in conspiring to interfere with our official business. I mean, you heard it yourself. Everybody heard it in the video. Like, they're telling you, no, this is state property. Unless you're coming to visit someone, no one's allowed here. Make sure you read the signs. What signs is he talking about, by the way? What signs?
They meant the big prison sign, the blue one that says nothing about trespassing or nothing about it tells you what the prison is and who runs it. So they're they really are just high. Like, and the sad part is we didn't run across one person, dude, that was like, nah, you guys can do this. They all believed in their hearts, dude, that we were criminals.
We got flicked off like 3 or 4 times.
Yep.
Everybody was giving us the stone cold death stare. The one lady in the van, the condescending, can I help you? That, that typical, can I help you thing?
Yeah, and then she denied prisoners ever sleeping on the floor. Like, you can't deny it to me. I did it. You know what I mean? I'm the wrong one. I'm not just some regular journalist that never been in there.
I think we should hang out by that door and just keep on asking the questions. See if we can get one out of the 50 or however many might actually exit through that exit point.
Well, you see how many cars
to answer there, us. Yeah, I mean,
and that's just one prison. The rest of them, they swap back and forth. Like guards from this prison work in that prison, and guards from that prison working. So there's really more. You know what I mean?
Maybe if we tell them on camera, if you know about this going on in here and you haven't reported it, you're criminally complicit, a willful criminal complicit participant.
Yep.
In this. And you will be held accountable.
Like, it may take
we can
us a
help
long
insulate
time.
you. We can help insulate you. We can help you. You could do the right thing now, man. Because
with my work situation right now, I got a little bit, at least for a couple days. I got some time, so I think we should really hit it hard the next.
Tomorrow we could go to Middletown HQ. There's a number of things we can get from there. And just do an inspection, hang out for a little while. We'll see how well we do down there. We've had some folks get assaulted going down there. Last time I went there with Rogue Nation, they said the place was flooded, but we could see the records department, and there was no water anywhere.
They're just a bunch of liars, bro. That's all they are, is liars.
Yeah.
And we're going to go. I feel like we're not going to have I don't want to jinx us, but I feel like we're going to get treated just like you and Rogue did, just like, look at what they did to Long Island Audit through his phone. You know what I mean? That's going to be what I'm expecting from them.
Yeah.
Trying to set my gimbal up right now so I could just set it down and have it go on me. I think
Anon
that's-
Mouse, thanks for being here. Joe Cool, what's up, baby?
Oh, I wanted to give Joe a shout out. I seen him in there, man. I love Joe.
Yeah, Joe Cool is the
Anon Mouse,
coolest.
Guru, all these people are always in my lives, always supporting. Like, I mean, we got a good bunch of supporters, I feel like.
Yeah. Help us out with the likes and help circulate the content we're going to be putting out. We're going to hit this stuff heavy.
Share it. That's what we need is people. If you guys respect it and like it, share it on your pages because we need this to get out. Like, it's not just.
We can't
us
always
we're worried
rely
about.
on the algorithm. You know, a lot of what activism and what we're doing is encompassed around is organic efforts. You know, we have to put in the effort. We can't just rely on the algorithm to take us home all the time.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, and it's a ton of hard work, but it pays off, dude, when the public appreciates it, and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
They help. Like
Brendan Blount, thanks for being here. Who else? Critter Catcher, Tommy2274. I think he left a little while ago, but he's always around. He's another great guy out there. Burt Reynolds was, I think, first in here. Always a pleasure to see Burt Reynolds.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Boru, thanks for the $20 super chat, man. I sincerely appreciate that, my guy, and all the support. Fluffhead.
Hey, let me give Buru a shout out because he said he needed some work done at his house. So
Yeah, go for it.
I got some time, Buru. If you need your gutters and whatever else done, send me a message and we'll get it done.
Yeah. With an extra set of hands over there, we can work like 10 men.
Yeah, I know. I bring you. We'll get in there.
There you go.
Gutters is easier with two people, anyways. You know what I mean?
Indeed, it is. Anon Mouse and Kristen Tila, thanks for being here, guys.
Yeah, Anon Mouse is awesome, bro. I love Anon Mouse. He's always on. He was just on my live in Willimantic. Wait till you see that dude. You're gonna love it. I asked him if they were smoking crack. He said yes.
Let's see. How do I share a screen? This is like, share screen. So what I'm gonna read for you now, or show you guys now, is
I could probably bring up some of the footage from the situation.
okay.
After you're done.
These are emails to, well, let's see. This one's to the state fire marshal. Oh, no, this is to the mayor. Okay, so the mayor of Montville and the chief fire marshal. His name is William Abbott. Okay, and basically, I'll try to blow this up best I can for you guys. Let me get this off of the screen.
I wonder if we could get a petition together, bro. Like a petition. Say we get 100 or 200 inmates that have been on that floor, and we get them to sign it. If we can get them to just walk in, not schedule an inspection, but just show up and do what they're supposed to do.
Well, I think yes, that would help, but I don't even think we need to go that far. I think if we have 10 of these guys willing to write an affidavit.
Yeah, and everybody, dude, everybody is willing to. I've only had one person that said they would like to stay anonymous. Everybody else, dude, is like, this has been going on too long. We need to stop this. Let's go. And that's what I love. It's like, and that's just people I know. And I don't even watch. I bet you by tomorrow we'll have 25 or 30. I'd put money on it.
So this is Monday, October the 31st, 2022. This is what I sent to the mayor and the Office of State Fire Marshal, all appropriate staff within said state office. The mayor's office of Montville, Connecticut, Ronald McDaniel, and all appropriate staff within said town office.
Ronald McDonald?
Ronald McDaniel. This is an extremely urgent and sensitive matter. This is a matter of public interest and public safety. People's lives are in danger. This is a very serious and very egregious matter. There are absolutely criminal elements to it. It is my intention to make you aware of the situation, to investigate further, and to dutifully report to the people the facts of this situation. The people have a right to know. Due to my family's safety concerns and subsequent security purposes, I think it's appropriate to withhold my name at this time. more specifically until further along in this process. I'm a taxpayer, Connecticut citizen first. I'm also a government accountability activist, an investigative journalist, and an auditor. I disseminate matters of public interest to the public. I audit our local, state, and federal government. I'm featured on streaming services like Roku, Google Play, Apple Play, Amazon, and a variety of web-based platforms. I create transparency. I create accountability and liability. I expose and oppose tyranny and corruption. I hold our public servants accountable and help the people exercise their rights. This egregious matter has been brought to my attention and substantiated by witnesses through collaborating statements and testimonials. Affidavits are being drafted. Interviews are being documented. We are seeking legal recourse. The people of Connecticut are demanding transparency.
Hey,
Victims, yeah.
I don't want to cut you off, but I think if I jumped off for a second, I could probably get us some people that would come on and talk that have actually been in this situation.
Do it. Now's the perfect time.
All right, hold on. I'll be back in a few.
Yep. Victims are demanding accountability. I'd like to work quietly, professionally, independently, but alongside of you and or the fire marshal who will ultimately address this matter so that I may film and properly document the situation on behalf of the people for matters of public interest. The Corrigan-Radgowski Correctional Center prison in Montville, Connecticut, has been deceiving the Office of State Fire Marshal and the people for over a decade. I have good information revealing disturbing, incredibly dangerous, life-threatening safety concerns within the facility. Deliberate, blatant, conscious negligence, safety violations, and law violations. It is chock full. It is far beyond overcrowded, to the point where the mess halls, closets, hallways, recreation rooms are filled with people. People sleeping on floors, ladies and gentlemen. Makeshift beds litter the entire prison. Inflatable rafts, pools, accessories have been used in some cases. Prisoners have been made to sleep on the floor, in almost all cases just inches, mere inches, apart from one another. The prisoners are packed in like sardines. These are human beings. There are just 2 toilets available for hundreds of inmates. The capacity of the prison has been far exceeded, far beyond its limits for over a decade. Many inmates will, in fact, die. I'd argue perhaps a third of the inmates will absolutely die in lieu of a fire in the prison. We need to find out how many prisoners are really in there. The prison during, quote, regularly scheduled inspections, end quote, conducted by this office, the Office of State Fire Marshal, actively willfully conceals these disgusting, life-threatening violations by forcing inmates to disassemble their makeshift beds, to hide these materials in closets and other areas inmates normally inhabit full-time. After concealing all of the criminal, life-threatening safety violations inside the prison and the physical evidence of it, the inmates themselves are ordered onto buses outside of the prison. The public, the people, our city, our state, is placed in harm's way as the prisoners on these buses are driven in circles throughout the duration of the regularly scheduled inspection carried out by the Office of State Fire Marshal. This is a calculated, deliberate, blatant violation of our laws, our codes, and public trust. This is how the prison and the staff in it have chosen to cover up, quote-unquote, this criminal activity in blatant disregard for the people and our safety. I'm asking this office, the fire marshals, and appropriate authorities to to show up unannounced at said prison and conduct an inspection, an audit, if you will, that the prison guards and other corrupt individuals involved can't possibly prepare for without being tipped off. I'd like to accompany the fire marshals during this inspection throughout this process. I'd like to work closely, diligently with this office to properly and appropriately document the conditions of the prison and the circumstances therein as they truly are. I'd like to file a Freedom of Information Act request and look at some documentation that the Office of State Fire Marshal should have, regarding this specific prison. To whom do I make said request? I'm eager to speak with you and the appropriate public servants who will ultimately help the people and I help ourselves for a change. Okay, so that was the email sent once again October the 31st, approximately 2 o'clock in the afternoon. That was sent to John McKay, Department of Administrative Services. Ronald McDaniel, the mayor of Montville, and I guess that's where that email goes, is to the DAS. He's Chief Fire Marshal, the State Fire Marshal, William Abbott, is, I guess the email just bumps up to, wait, John McKay is from DAS, okay. Tyrant Slayer Studios, thank you for your email. Any concerns with the Corrigan-Radgowski Correctional Center, prison in Montville, Connecticut, should be brought directly to their attention. The Public Information Office email for the Department of Correction is, are you folks ready? Let me get my friend in here. Let me get my friend in here. Oh, that's not our friend. Oh, where did he go? I thought Constitution. Let me back in. There he is. There he is. Sorry about that, buddy.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I think we got somebody might be jumping on to talk about this. I messaged a few people. Some people are at work. Some didn't answer, but I got one buddy that has seen this all firsthand. He said he's driving home, but I told him to set his camera up and just talk and drive. So he might be jumping on. I sent him the link.
Perfect.
Just keep an eye out.
Yep, will do.
But, some other people said that they'd be willing to talk tomorrow. They just can't at this second because of work and life. It was kind of last minute.
Yep.
But I'm going to try and get the main dude, the dude who helped this man while he was dying, who took care of him, who used to bring him into the bathroom because he couldn't even get up and walk to the bathroom. That's who I want. Yeah. Like, that's a story breaker right there. And he said he's down, so.
Yeah. Well, this is inhumane. A man died. I just looked down on my phone. I see no victim, no violence. It should be no crime.
Well, and dude, the sad part is the state never really even got held accountable for that.
Exactly.
That's the worst part of all this. Like,
I want to know how much the people involved are making every year. Oh, wait, we got company. Let's see.
It's Steve.
All right, let me close this down.
There
Steve
he is.
in the house. We got audio, my guy.
Oh, Steve, we can't hear you, bud.
Oh, he's got to activate his mic in the settings. There's a little gear down there. You got to go into the gear, go to audio, and then activate your default microphone on your device. I assume he's using a cell phone.
Yeah, he's
same
driving.
Same thing. Oh shit, he's driving.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's driving. Yeah. He's like, yeah, I'm driving. Hey, let's try to read his lips.
Yo, but Slayer, this dude right here is a good dude. I've known this dude a long time, and he's a real dude, and like he has firsthand experience about this, man, and he knows. Like,
is he on the highway, like, dude? If you can pull off for just a second, there's a little gear in the browser when you sign on to the Restream thing. Go to the gear and then go to audio and set it to use your mic, and then come back in. And you'll be good to go. If you could pull off somewhere for just a second, it'll only take a minute because the people want to hear.
He's going to pull off. He's going to do it while he's driving. No, that's my boy, though. He kind of got the same story as I do, Slayer. You know what I mean? He struggled for a long time.
No, he's got his shit together.
He's a business owner. That's a local business owner right there. That's somebody that they said would be dead, that would never make it anywhere. Yo, he owns his own business. And he's doing it the way he's supposed to do it. Like, there's nothing better than that.
Hey, Bed.
I hope he gets it working, man.
No, we still can't hear him.
I'm trying to think of how I did it. You got to click. Or the 3 dots. If there's no gear,
Oh,
you
yeah,
can hit the
3 little
hit the 3
dots.
dots at the bottom of the screen and go in the settings and set it to your phone. That's what I had to do.
I think we lost him.
He might not have great service.
So
I'm going to jump off. I'm going to send him a message and tell him how to fix it and tell him to jump on when he gets some time.
okay. All right. So where was I? Oh, I closed it. There we go. The email for getting in touch with the Department of Corrections is DOCPIO, which is interesting because he's treating it like a media inquiry, I guess. If you'd like to FOIA, please use this website. Let's check this out. We got that. Okay. Let's see what this is. So they want the name of the requester, organization, email. Okay. Well, that's nice. Now, I wonder if I could submit the form leaving some of this information blank. I won't do it that way. I'll just drive to Hartford and do it in person. We'll just get out to Hartford and we'll do it that way. But basically, there's that. I should have some more on this. I've gotten some other... Oh, I think I did respond to that, actually. Maybe I should show you that. Yeah, I said, thank you for your response. This is November 3rd, approximately 3 days later. Unfortunately, I don't think the inmates whose lives are in danger due to the severe law violations and the tremendous safety concerns associated with them will find it useful. Making contact with the prison PIO is not how one should address these issues. Hang on, we got someone in the basement. Let's take a look. Constitution State in the house. Thank you for joining
There
us.
it is. I couldn't figure out why it wasn't working. It was me.
All right. Making contact with the prison PIO is not how one should address these issues. What is happening inside the prison is criminal. There are lives in danger. This is a job for our state fire marshal's office. This is a job for the mayor. This is our town. And what happens in it is on our mayor. Is the mayor not interested in what's happening in Montville? The mayor is not interested in safety, not interested in these very real, very threatening safety concerns. I should tip off the prison officials and contact the PIO like I'm some corporate media hack. Really? Please advise. Yeah, let's see what else. This one went to the mayor. I think we read all that.
It's just easier for them to place the blame, bro, than for them to actually take responsibility and deal with the situation.
So this response from the mayor's office came 4 days later. And it looks like he CC'd the Montville police, Lieutenant David Radford. Valancourt, hey, that's the state police guy that they mentioned on the phone down there when I asked who the resident trooper was in Montville PD.
You're right about that.
Hey, look at that. We're connecting dots here, people.
Yep.
All right.
Right in front of your eyes.
You know what I want to do is see if he's actually scheduled to be working. And if he got paid that day that we were down there, because he wasn't there that day. They said he wasn't in that day. But if he's, if it looks like he was in and he actually wasn't, well, he's got a problem there.
Yeah, that's stealing. That's a crime.
So he says to me, I am sorry for this is the mayor. I am sorry for the delay in my response, but I was out of the office. The town of Montville has no jurisdiction for enforcement of building or safety codes on state property. Okay, fair enough. You properly referred your inquiries, concerns to the Office of State Fire Marshal. However, in speaking with multiple staff personnel visits to the facility and reports from our first responders, I have found no evidence of the veracity of these allegations. In fact, the facility population is at its lowest level in decades. If you aren't satisfied with the response from the facility or the State Fire Marshal's office, you will need to address that to them directly. Mayor Ronald K. McDaniel, Town of Montville, 310 Norwich, NL Turnpike, Uncasville, Connecticut, 06382.
Hey, bud.
Yeah.
I love how they talk about the population in the jail like it has anything to do with people sleeping on the floor. Like they told us when we were there, oh, there's a whole empty jail right here. Yeah, but that's a jail for sentenced inmates that are already sentenced. Like that has nothing to do with our unsentence inmates in this jail on the floor.
And that jail, that prison, I don't know if you called it the annex. Is that what you were calling it?
Yeah, it was Radgowski Annex.
Okay, Radgowski Annex. The only reason why that facility wouldn't be in use has got to be to some sort of health code violation or some sort of structural code issue, or maybe asbestos is in play here.
Yeah.
Something's going on. And we would have to assume, based on the information we've been gathering so far, that there were inmates in that prison up until the very moment that it was determined that there could be no inmates in that prison.
There was, absolutely, dude. Absolutely,
and
there was people
where
there
would
till
they
the
put
last
them?
minute.
Right, and where would they put them if they didn't move them up to the building and back where Corrigan is, right? They absolutely put them up in Corrigan, and they've been sleeping on the floors.
Well, I don't know, though, because the annex is sentenced inmates. So if they were there, they probably went to other prisons.
Well, right, but you were talking about mixing populations earlier, right?
No, there is, but they do that when you mix the population. They do that in the blocks.
I see.
In the gym, it's only on sentenced people with bonds under 50. It's all petty crime. Your bond has to be under 50,000, and you can't have no serious charges. You can't have no violent charges. So it's all our smallest people that should be at home with their families or in programs. That's who they're making sleep on the floor. It's crazy. They do mix them, but they don't mix them in the gym. If you go to any block there, in the regular blocks, A block, C block, you know what I mean? They have unsentenced inmates sleeping in the same cell as sentenced inmates. You got murderers sleeping with people that did a petty thief or a drug charge. It's crazy. But what I was going to say is I was in Osborne in 2016, or I was in there for 2016, the first couple days of the year, all the way till the end of 2017. And they actually shut part of the jail down there. It was called the Q blocks. And it was actually one of the best spots to be in the whole jail. It was like the working blocks for the kitchen workers and this and that. And it was cells, but you get to have your door open all day. You can go in and out. You can pretty much do what you want all day. Well, they closed that down because of structural stuff and asbestos. Well, the same day they emptied it out, they brought the mayor in, and the mayor went into that empty block and told everybody, oh, look, we're shutting this down because the population's getting better, not because they didn't tell the public the real reason. You know what I mean? Not because there's asbestos in here, not this and that. When I was there,
right,
they'd lock us down once every couple months. You would go on a whole week lockdown. You couldn't leave your cell. You couldn't do anything. You were in your cell 24/7. I think you got a shower once every 2 or 3 days.
Meanwhile, the COs are walking around in hazmat suits. Hey, how's it going, guys?
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Well, not that bad, but literally they had outside crews come in and remove the asbestos out of the
really
that we
while the inmates are in the prison.
Yeah, they'd move them out of that area.
Shuffle you around and leapfrog the work.
Yeah, but so you're telling me that there's asbestos there and we've been sleeping there all the way up until you called this company in to remove it? No, this jail needs to be condemned.
Is it in the floor tiles?
Honestly, I don't know where it was. I don't want to make it up and pretend like I do know, but I don't. But that's definitely, literally, that's what we heard from the staff. That's why we're on lockdown, dude. And that jail, so there was probably 5 or 6 lockdowns out of the whole year, dude, that you'd be stuck in your cell for a whole week. Not be able to come out, not to call your family, not anything. You eat in your cell, you sleep in your cell, you come out to shower, that's it. So they could clean up their asbestos. It doesn't make sense. And they want to keep that jail going because it's that's the jail. There's a factory there. That's where they make all the t-shirts. That's where they make everything. So
Oh yeah, there's a whole farm up there, man. I didn't even share half of the
we should go up
footage
there,
we
dude,
got.
because that's like 6 prisons in one little mile stretch of road.
We might actually be able to catch the inmates or somebody's got to tend to those animals every day. So I mean, like, it's probably early in the morning. If we get up at the butt crack of dawn, we could probably see some inmates out there tending to the animals. Right. I'm down to go
they
down.
probably won't even let them out, though. I'd put money on it that if we're up there, they won't let them go do their job. Or if they are doing their job and they show up, they're going to make them go inside. I'd put money on it.
Yeah, because we would be treated like a security threat.
Yep.
Yeah. He's got a camera.
Though, there was people, when I was in those jails, dude, there was people coming up and down all the time, dude, throwing out weed and cigarettes and soda cans, and it would get picked up and brought in all the time. Like, how does that happen? You guys aren't watching these inmates?
There are great, big, beautiful barns up there.
They are actually awesome, dude.
Really nice
farm equipment.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they got a whole lot of antique farm equipment, a bunch of goats. One of them lost its horn in gang violence.
Yeah, I forgot about that. You know what we didn't talk about yet tonight is how come the pedophiles get better treatment than everybody.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
The pedophiles have their own jail. Not jail. I wouldn't call it a jail, but it's like a trailer. It's a little bigger. It's probably like a double-wide trailer size. And that's just for pedophiles that, like, behave. I don't know exactly, but I know pedophiles stay there, and I know they get treated better than everybody else in the rest of the prison.
Yeah,
while they still have a ton of pedophiles in the prison. So it's not like they took them all out. They just took select ones.
Right. If you guys go back to the video, which, by the way, here, I should probably put a link to that in here again.
I left the pedophile part out of mine because I didn't know if it would
be Yeah, just even saying the word makes me a little...
I know. I'll call it something else.
We'll call it...
the P word.
Pedrophile.
It's crazy, bro. Legit crazy. It blows my mind. But you know what? And I'm not even going to lie, dude. Connecticut's known for, like, going easy on its pedophiles. Like, or not even just pedophiles, but any sex charge. Like, dude, I've been in lockup in Danielson with, like, 7 or 8 people. And it was most of them had petty crime. Like, I think I had a VOP and some other people had drug charges. You know what I mean? And literally the only person that day that got a PTA from the judge was the dude that molested a kid. Everybody else went to jail. Like,
yeah, isn't that funny?
It blows my mind.
TCF works that way too. They'll take somebody's kid over, like, oh, well, you had trace amounts of marijuana in your system, and you got a child, so that's child neglect, and and then they'll take the child and give him to a hardcore drug user that's running a child sex trafficking ring out of their basement.
Dude, they took my stepdaughter back in 2013, and they put her with somebody that I used to, like, back in my bad days, that I used to sell drugs to. You know what I mean? Like, how does that work?
That's
and
everything is ass backwards here.
Now, after 10 years, the state can't control this child that's now 15, and even though they took her, they're giving her back to her mother after taking her for 10 years and putting her through the system, having her get sexually abused. All that stuff happened to her, dude. And she talks about it, and the state did nothing to back. I mean, dude, look at her foster family just tried to jump her last week. Like, some kids from the foster house in New Haven a month ago tried to jump her.
What was the motive behind that? Do you know anything about that?
I could get the full story tomorrow. I can talk to my stepdaughter, but it was just drama. She wasn't feeling it, I guess, and she was arguing with one of the chicks there. And I guess instead of handling the situation appropriately, everybody went against my kid's mother's other child. And even the foster family, the foster parents were, like, trying to fight her and calling her all sorts of names and this and that. And remember, I brought it up to you, and you were like, they need to contact the police about it. So they did contact the police the next day, and the police said that they weren't going to do anything. It's pretty much hearsay.
There you go. PDF file is what we're calling it. The PDF file,
perfect.
Yeah.
Good.
Thank you, Anonymous.
But it's, I don't know. Somebody just messaged me and said my boy's bugging again. But I don't got time for that right now. But yeah, man, it's just crazy how the state works. and they give these kids that they take from people that they say are not fit, and they put them in situations that are even worse than they took them out of. And then when they find out that they can't deal with them,
that's what all of these. You know what? That's a great point, Anonymous. Anonymous. There's a lot of money behind the bad ass backwards left field decisions that the state is making in these cases and under these dire circumstances in which children are being exploited for money.
Abused.
Yes, abused sexually. Yeah. Right. And the state is like using it as a means to profit. It's not even profiting really. It's just it's getting thrown into the fund that the Public Employees Union uses to fund its unfunded pension liabilities for correction officers and state police officers and state employees. DOT.
Can I give a shout out real quick?
You do your thing, man. This Mikasa Sukasa. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know this guy yet, I don't know where you've been living, but this is the Constitution State. And he's been putting a hell of a lot of work in the state of Connecticut. In fact, just before he jumped on here, we were scheduled for like 8:45-ish. And he's like, well, there's some some stuff going down right now here in town. I got to check it out. He was live streaming all the way up to the last second until he was here.
Yeah. But I wanted to just say what up to Ryan Holzinger. He's in here. I like him. That's my guy. I actually just made him a mod too because he's always on. He's always supporting, and he's actually intelligent.
All right. Well,
we got Jesus Christ in here. We got some good people in here.
Any friend of the Constitution State is a friend of mine. Ryan, don't hit anybody too hard with that wrench, sir. I'm looking for some mods too. I cleared them all out. I cleaned out all my mods like 6 months ago because I found out that there was a way. There's actually a security risk in adding a mod. You actually got to really trust the person.
I found how I went about it is I waited. Like I wanted some. Everybody was like, you need to get some and get them now. And I didn't. I actually waited. Like I've only been doing this, we're about to hit 6 months. And I literally just filled my mod list up within the past week. And I went through and I found not big people, not people that have big channels, but like the supporters that are always there. You know what I mean? The ones that are always in the chat. And I got in touch with them personally and I asked them if they would like to moderate because they're already there. You know what I mean? Like Ryan's always there. Car Thief's always there. Yeah, I got like my crew and I found them and they said yes. And I'm grateful for that. But I feel like it's a tough decision at times. And but I feel like it's a necessity too. It makes it easier on us.
Right. Johnny D in the house. Sorry, but they should change their moniker to the Tyranny State. Yeah, that's pretty good. I was thinking maybe even the Twilight Zone.
Or the non-Constitution State?
Yeah, I've infamously been calling it the racketeering Nazi Socialist Democrat Nanny Police State. But
that's on point. My uncle told me last week, he said, you should change your name to the Constitution State Corruption. And I said, that's actually pretty cool, but
it's a little long.
Yeah, it is. Well, people have been calling it, like when I see people in the things, everybody calls me CPS or CPS audit, you know what I mean? And I like that. It shortens it up.
Where is everybody? Aren't you guys sharing the link and hitting the like button? Come on, man. We spend time and money, providing you guys, good hardcore content like this. This is going to explode. For those who are just joining us, we're hooking up with the CT Examiner. Hopefully they like what they see and they go full throttle with us on this. This could be the beginning of a very promising, very healthy, viable, symbiotic relationship between a more or less corporate media entity and citizen independent journalists. This is
No, it's important, dude, because if we get them to help us, it'll explode so much more. I mean, we got our audiences and we got where we could, like I explained to her, I'm like, we could only reach so far. And if we get them to help us, it's going to go so much further. And it's not even about us. It's not even about getting this, you know what I mean, blowing it up. To me, it's about these inmates, dude. And it's about these people sleeping on the floor. I care about that more than I care about my video taking off or the news helping us. Like, these people, dude, are suffering in there. We've had people die. It's inhumane. Like, if you go to any jail, you get a cell, you get
How
power,
are these people
you get
going
water.
home and like flicking everybody off, hating the public and stuff, when consciously they know and they're aware that, you know, their negligence, you know, even though they're living in denial,
they don't-
had
that-
something
that
to do
just
with that
shows
man's death.
It just shows that that's how ignorant and how much they truly do not care. You know what I mean? Like, they
Right.
don't care if that man died or what his family went through or if they got justice. Sorry, I'm trying to smoke. I haven't smoked yet.
Yeah, but
you know what I mean? They don't care about any of that. They care about
Ryan, you want to come up? Should we share the link? Does anybody want to come up?
Absolutely. Yeah,
We can
bring him
invite
up.
you up. We can
Bring
invite
him up.
Ryan up. All right.
If he wants to come up, let him come up. I like
Yeah,
Ryan.
word.
Ryan's a good dude, and he's got experience in this too, dude. Wait till he tells you about what he went through in his prison, dude.
Yeah, he's
Rats. Rats. Bro, they had rats biting them. They had rats crawling all over them.
Oh,
This
my
is some
God.
Crazy stuff. Worse than Corrigan. At least
Yeah,
Corrigan's a
it's-
newer jail, and it's semi-clean. You know what I mean? Like, what he went through is brutal.
right.
We talked about it, and if he comes up, dude, you'll be shocked.
Link is in the chat if you want to join the stream.
Jump on, Ryan, if you want. I mean, if you don't want to, don't. But
Maybe some of you can help us. You know, if there is an opportunity to change the name of your channel and you are thinking about evolving it a little bit, we can ask the audience to help.
Absolutely.
You know, we can use the base of it as the Constitution state. I think that's perfect. You know, but if you
Absolutely.
could Emerald Lagasse it real quick and bam. You know, like.
Well,
hit
I
it.
only went with that, dude, because it was like I watched all these audit videos before I did it, and then, like, you know, when you get that spark and you're like, sooner or later I'm going to do this, because I was on probation when I found all this stuff, and that's why I didn't go out sooner, because, as you know, if you're on probation, and I don't know about everywhere, but Connecticut, even if you're not committing a crime, if they ask for your ID, you're supposed to provide it. Like, that's your little stipulation. Hey! What up, bro?
Mr. Halsinger. All right, we got good audio too. Hey, thanks so much for coming up, my man.
Yo, Ryan, do you want to tell us a little bit about your experience, where you were from, that prison you were telling me about?
Oh yeah, when I was in the old Muskegon County Jail up here in Michigan.
That's it.
Yeah, it was condemned by the state, and actually they were fining the county each week for having inmates in there. They were overcrowded by about 150 inmates.
Oh, wow.
We were in they had a gym, and we were on little boats, like you guys were calling, like little cots.
Yeah, yep.
And literally, yeah, it was infested by rats and mice, and we had them crawling all over us, biting us on our toes.
Oh, people
we're
could get sick
sleeping.
and die like that.
Oh yeah, we had tons of black mold everywhere and stuff like that.
Fecal matter getting into the food. These things crawling around your lane and urine, just breathing that ammonia in, stuff like that.
Oh yeah, there was a couple guys that worked up at the kitchen, and they actually had to kick the dry pantry doors to scare all the mice out of eating all the food and stuff like that. And then they'd go and serve it to the inmates.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. The food you guys eat?
Yeah, it was crazy. They get into all of our commissary and stuff like that. We'd have
Which
to
is
have
even
it all.
crazier. Because you spent your money on that. So you buy it, you spend your money, and then these rats come in and ruin it. And now
I would
you don't
imagine
get
they're after
compensated.
the stuffing in your mattress, or the tiny little thin mattresses you guys get, or your pillows. Were those ever torn up and ripped through by these things trying to nest up, you know, themselves somewhere?
Oh, definitely. They'd get all, because the mats were just made out of stuffing, and that's what they would want to get to make their own nests. But yeah, we would actually set up like little homemade mouse traps to set them so we can keep them out of our cells and stuff like that, because we would set up like a little tote with the string and put like Doritos.
You know, there's a whole YouTube video unto itself right there that'll probably go viral. Prison mousetrap. We could do it here on our channels.
Bro,
you know,
you
give
know
you a
what's
little
funny?
cut. You can walk everybody through it.
Slayer, you guys want to hear something funny? When I was in Osborne, I got in trouble for sneaking mice into the jail. I had a window. I was in a jail program, and I had a window that went to a concrete, like a rec area, and at night my window opened and I'd throw a box out the window with a string on it and I'd put peanut butter in it, and when the mouse would come in, I'd pull it up and I'd pull it in, and I would legit, people had pet mice. I'd give them.
Oh, this is Merlin. Merlin the mouse. Yeah.
And then people started getting in trouble for having the mice, dude, and they told on me, and I got in trouble for sneaking them in. They went and checked the cameras, like it was crazy.
They used mice and rats to run contraband back and forth when we were locked down. They had a dude that trained a rat, and they would tie it to the rat, and it would run it back and forth for us when we were locked down.
Prison pigeons or rats.
Yeah, dude, it's no joke. And where are you from, Ryan?
I was originally from Grand Haven, but I was up in Muskegon County a lot. Did a lot of my jail time in Muskegon.
What state?
Where's Muskegon? Michigan. Muskegon County,
all
Michigan.
Over the country. It's not just Connecticut. It's happening everywhere.
Yeah, they ended up scamming a casino out of building a new jail because they were losing so much money with the old jail.
Is Muskegon County a big union town? Like, is there some big union dominant sort of industry there? Is the public sector really big? Yeah, see, so there's going to be the corruption's going to be everywhere out there. How close in proximity is Muskegon, or like what's throughout Muskegon County that you should be wary of in that regard?
Well, did you hear them? They beat the whole Indian tribe dude for a prison.
Right.
Yeah, they scammed them. They said that they could build a casino over here by the old racetrack. And they promised if they built them the new jail and stuff like that, that they would pass it and allow the state to approve it. And they still, 7 years later, they still don't.
They're fighting over money. They're fighting over money. Yeah.
They scammed them out of it.
What's funny about Corrigan, Slayer? That's built on Indian land.
Right. It's wetlands and it's sinking. And the tribe wants the land back, and I think the state is in full blown panic mode, man. They got all sorts of light coming down on them now, and there's going to be hammers coming from the left and the right and the center. These people are going to be held accountable for how they've been treating other human beings. It's insane what's going on in there and what's happened to this guy, Ryan. It's insane, man.
It's cruel and unusual punishment. I've been to a bunch of different county jails, and it's luxury. Like you say, you go to Ottawa County, they end up having pillows and luxury, great food. And it's because there's a lot of chomos down there, too. And they cater to them a whole lot different because they're kind of like
a different breed.
Yeah, and it's crazy how they end up catering to them, giving them special housing and everything, just so they don't get, exploited and harassed by the other inmates.
See, what's crazy about up here, though, Ryan, is they'll treat most of them better, but then there's still a good majority of them that are in general. There's so many of them, they can't take care of them all. So I don't know why they even try to take care of some of them. You're spending all this money on a group that you can't even take all of them, and you know what I mean? You can't protect them all. It's impossible.
Yeah, it was insane how they end up. It's all the people that are low income, and it's not like they're going to run from.
They're the most easily exploited.
Yeah, you let them out on bond. They're not going to run anywhere. They're not going to go anywhere. They're going to be right into that same town where they lived their whole life.
It's actually pretty common is in Connecticut. You get released right after they have prepared another warrant for your arrest.
Yep.
And they butter you up. Oh, yeah, your release date's coming up in 10 days, man. I hear you're going home. Make sure you got your things, And, you're all excited. You think you're getting out. And within, 12, 24, 36, 48, maybe 96 hours, they're rearresting you on another warrant that they knew that you had but didn't tell you the moment that you walked out of the jail.
I've seen people, Slayer, dude, come in or get out, they got a release date, and the prison...
They walk them out and walk them around?
They won't even walk them out. They'll either tell you the night before, or when you go down the next morning to leave, they'll be like, yeah, you're not leaving. You got a warrant. Yeah. And they'll send you back to the block. That's crazy, dude. You wait 2-3 years, some people 5 years. That's crazy.
Right. Think about what that does to somebody's psychology, man. You're toying with their freedom And if these guys are consciously doing that because they don't like you because how you came into the prison 3 years ago or something, right? And it's the same burnt out guy that's been in that job for 28 years. You know, you can't tell him nothing.
Well, sometimes, dude, it's not even them. It's the police more times than not. You know what I mean? They're the ones that drum up these charges.
Right.
These fake burglaries or, you know what I mean? Stuff from 10 years ago. It doesn't really matter. And come and charge you for it. Like, I seen a dude that did a burglary, broke into a house or something. And he did his time. He was like within days of going home, dude. And they came and they hit him for another charge because when he broke into the house, he broke a window. And he was bleeding, so they got his blood, but either, I don't know, they didn't test his DNA at the time, some shit, but they ended up, well, he was in jail running that blood, and they said it came back to him, and they ended up coming and charging him again, like 2 days before he went home.
Back to your channel name, I think that the Constitution State is good. It states a purpose for the work you're doing.
I've seen that from
pretty straightforward, man. Pretty straightforward.
I like it.
Yeah.
Dude.
If it ain't broken, don't fix it, right?
Yeah, I know. But like I was saying, dude, when I started, I was just like, you know what? This is Connecticut. I was walking one day. I seen it on the plate. I'm like, that's what it is. That's what it's about. That's what it is. And we ain't let up since. It's been 6 months, dude. We should do a 6-month review soon.
I think we should start giving out awards, too. Like, we can, once we become 501c3. See, I want to get the American Citizen Surveyors United started. We'll become an official 501c3 nonprofit, and we'll be able to raise funds charitably, and we'll have some plaques made for like best kept police department.
I'm gonna hand them out.
Yeah, and like, you know how like in a industry like a steel shop, you'll have that big sign up. It's like 472 days since last injury or something like that.
When I was working at the power plants, they all had that. Every power plant had that walk.
Right. I want to have like a live ticker on our website that says like how many days it's been since they violated somebody's rights. You know, like, yeah,
how much would that cost though? Because that's a lot of money, dude.
It would just be a graphic on part of our web domain. The web domain itself.
Right,
yeah, okay, sure. Okay. It's just it takes the time to create it.
What do you think it's going to do, Ryan? I bet you it's going to stay at 0.
Yeah,
they might rack up a day here and there, but
it resets like 67 times a day.
Time out. Did you hear about the? Well, you did because we talked about it. But what's going? Dude, this Randy Cox situation's embarrassing, bro.
Oh yeah, maybe we should bring some of that up.
$100 million lawsuit.
Right. Yeah, and I think that's good.
You know what really got under my skin, bro? And I can't even front. I was mad about it. Like, I want to go back up there. Is when the chief got on TV and the mayor got on TV, and they said, "Yeah, we reformed," and talking about transparency. And now's the time. Well, what was it? 3 months ago when we met in person, and they assaulted me for filming in their lobby. They haven't reformed anything. They're one of the worst police departments I've dealt with yet.
Yeah.
They're right behind New Britain arresting me, but they hurt me. Like, you know what I mean?
They talk a good game, but everything they say is the opposite of what they mean. It's all double speak. It's all smoke and mirrors with them.
I'm putting a little video on it together right now, but like, dude, they're denying us, Ryan, they're denying us public records. We requested them, 2 months ago?
Yeah, almost 2 months ago now. Oh, wait.
They're past their time to give it to us. So, like, the state's going to get involved now, and they're going to have to give it to us, but why are you hiding records? You know what I mean? Like, and they acted like they were going to be so helpful. Remember, Slayer? Like, they were going to be accommodating, and they were going to help us, and they were going to charge this officer that assaulted me and broke my stuff.
Right. Yeah. And basically what happened was... Right, and what happened was the internal affairs investigators stonewalled us from the records department, concealed the identity of the records custodian clerk who refused to identify while violating our rights and interfering with our constitutionally protected activities, telling us to come back. We explained to her we drove like 90 miles.
Yeah, we did.
No, you'll come back, or you could do it online. No, I could do it right here in the lobby.
Don't forget, Slayer, I called before we went up, and they said, yup, we're open till 4, come on up. And it was it was sketchy because remember that officer was shot that day.
Right, coincidentally.
Yeah, and we were like, should we go? And remember, we talked about it, and I was like, let's do it. And you said, let's do it. So we went, and we got there at like 3:30, and you were right. They stonewalled us.
This is not the article I was looking for.
What'd you type in?
I was looking for something from the Connecticut Examiner, but now I'm just going to refine the search.
Type in the new Randy Cox stuff. That'll bring up
Yeah, it's
stuff.
only
5
like 3 days
charged.
old. Yeah, I saw that. Here we go.
But I don't think they're going to drop the charges.
Let's see if I can get let's watch this. Let me make sure I got my system audio on first.
Hey,
bud, try
bud.
this again.
I just got a message from my boy Steve that was trying to come on. He's driving. He's still got a while to drive, but he's going to come on tomorrow night.
Let's see. Share
You
screen.
down?
Share system audio. Chrome.
What are you up to, Ryan? What are you doing tonight?
No, I'm just chilling.
I know.
I got to
Me
work
too.
in the morning.
That sucks.
Yeah, I've been remodeling this duplex. It's pretty nice.
That's
You don't see a lot of duplexes around these days. What town are you in? He's in a different state.
Yeah.
That's dope. I was just doing that. I was doing general contracting. We were building like Burlington coat factories and Trader Joe's, like big stuff like that. But I didn't like it. I left.
There you
I
go.
quit yesterday. I walked off.
5 New Haven Police Department officers involved in Randy Cox case arrested, charged with misdemeanors.
Yeah, 2 misdemeanors, $25,000 bonds each.
This was the driver, right?
I think.
Or
the
was it
top
this
left
guy?
was the driver. I think it was him because it sounded like a Spanish dude.
They said he slammed on the brakes to avoid an accident. What was causing him to floor the accelerator that caused Randy to go flying to the back?
Why is there no dash cams, bro? If you
Look, there's no evidence.
Is that the guy that broke his neck? The
Yep.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
He's suing him for $100 million.
Listen, that
Dude,
guy
happened
is
to
full
some
of
dude in
shit.
my county too.
He purposely floored it, and he purposely slammed on the brakes,
But-
and there's no physical evidence to prove that he slammed on the brakes to avoid an accident. That's hearsay.
Tell me this, though, Slayer. Why is there no dash cam in the front? Every prison transport van I've ever seen, dude, has a camera in the front. They got cameras everywhere, dude. Where is that footage?
Look at this guy, man.
Yeah, they got one camera inside the cab usually.
Yeah. They have one. That's how they showed him. They showed him sliding. Like, if you look back on my page, I put the video up, and it shows the whole thing. Them
Yeah, because
slamming
always
the
the
brakes.
inmates, they sit in the back to look out the back window. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When they slam on the brakes, they always slide to the front. I used to do it. They always
Yeah.
tell you to.
Well,
in my
they were
county-
mad at him because he was drunk, dude. So he was kicking the divider between. He was kicking it to make noise so the driver could hear it. He was kicking it. He was hitting it. And he slammed on the brakes like not even a minute or two later. Like, what are you doing? You're slamming on the brakes because you're pissed he's kicking.
Yeah, they know
But-
they're not buckled in back there. They know exactly it's a bench seat.
Well, today was the first footage I seen, dude, where there was buckled back there. Like, everything I saw, I didn't see any. But they said in the article I read today that there was buckles, and they told him to hold on to them. But I'm pretty sure he was in cuffs. So how are you going to hold on to it in cuffs? And why wouldn't you just buckle them?
We never had seat belts, and then after that dude broke his neck in our county, they ended up just putting a rope on the seat for us to hold on to.
That's
It was
insane.
stupid.
They're so cheap, dude. They don't care about your safety.
No,
Age comes with
no
wisdom.
human rights.
No.
Let me try to find a video.
They got some good ones.
Yeah,
Go
where they're
type in-
manhandling them in the
Randy-
in the
Yeah,
wheelchair.
dude. That's the most. Dude, they were telling him he was faking it. I've never
Yeah,
seen
they're
anything.
like,
Yeah,
sit up,
they were
sit up,
dragging
put
him around, and he was handcuffed and laying on the floor, paralyzed. And they
Yep.
let that lady go in there and get her little moment and throw the I mean, why do you have to shackle a guy who's behaving that way? Yeah,
Obviously.
while he's in a cell, confined. You know.
Dude,
He ain't
at
going
the end,
nowhere.
the chick said, "Oh, he winked at me. He's fine." What?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like, dude, that's insane.
berate a man that's injured like
They
that.
have amazing superpowers of super mutant powers of observation.
Well, the dude said he was going to bring him to the hospital. When he first crashed, he's like, all right, I'm going to bring you to the hospital. Then he still chose to bring him to the PD, and then they treated him like that.
Randy Cox, the man paralyzed in New Haven police custody, outraged today after 5 officers were criminally charged. They say the charges aren't enough.
Got audio on that?
12 Connecticut's John Craven in New Haven.
Yeah. Speaking for the first time since 5 New Haven police officers were arrested, Randy Cox's family calls the charges a slap in the face.
So how is this fair?
Randy Cox's sister shocked that the officers are only facing misdemeanor charges. Cox was paralyzed inside a police van with no
Dude, that's so brutal. There is, look, there's belts.
He was holding on to it, but look at how long it is.
Officers forced Cox into a wheelchair before
Why didn't they strap
him
him
to
in?
a holding cell.
He said to them, I think I broke my neck, yo.
Kids were at home.
He did say it.
One of them got hurt, and I didn't even have nothing to do with it, and they broke their neck, and I didn't take them to the hospital. I would be arrested on the spot.
Yeah. Cox's family is suing
Damn right.
for $100 million. But in a
That's
court
not enough.
filing, the city of New Haven blamed Cox for contributory negligence. Despite that, the mayor insists he wants to settle the case.
It is incumbent upon the city, as we have these conversations with Randy's attorney,
You're going to have the taxpayers
preserve our rights.
cough up $100 million? Yeah.
Wait till they're talking about our
actions were reasonable and blamed Cox's injuries on his own negligence and carelessness.
And they said that Randy interfered with the investigation.
There he is.
I mean, what video are they looking at?
All 5 cops are on paid leave while an internal investigation continues.
Making over $100,000 a year.
But obviously this is important, right? So
this loser.
We're gonna move as quickly as possible.
But Cox's family says time is running out. They say he's already racked up millions in medical bills.
He has to ring a call bell to ask for a sip of water. The cup is sitting right next to him, but he can't pick it up.
Those officers' first court date is December 8th.
Should have looked at that like the wink.
To be greeted by a lot of
We're going to that court date.
In New Haven, John Craven, News 12.
Wow.
I think we should go to that court date, dude, and then I think we should go to the New Haven PD again.
12, Connecticut.
Yeah, I think you're right. We'll try to get a meeting with the chief of police.
Yep, I got his email, dude. I'll email him.
Yeah, we need to have a sit down.
Don't buy solar panels.
The mayor,
Seriously,
too. Why is the mayor
There's a
ignoring
very good reason.
Dude, that's
He wants to hush
disgusting.
it up.
Yeah, but I emailed him, dude. Those are the same cops, Ryan, that assaulted me. And
Yeah,
they don't email
over
me
here.
back.
Over here, we're dealing with that one cop that shot the dude that was trying to run from him, execution style, and they end up charging the officer now with murder. So we're dealing with that. Yeah, that Grand Rapids cop.
How long's this been going on for?
I'd say about 7 months, about 6-7 months. It took them about four months to actually charge the officer. They didn't want to charge him with it. They
didn't charge him with anything before it.
Took him a month just to release his name. They were trying to hide the officer's name. They wouldn't even release it. Yeah, they released the video. He clearly just shot him execution style. They were fighting over a taser, and the guy was clearly trying to run away, and he was behind him, and the officer just pulled out his gun and shot him in the back of the head.
Dude, that's insane.
Yeah, it's clearly murder.
I'm surprised they even charged him, though.
Yeah, it's a Patrick LaLoya.
It'll be hard to get out of that one.
He's going to go to trial. Watch, that'll be a big trial.
Oh, it is. It definitely is.
Dude, that's insane. I told the cops tonight when I seen him, I'm like, yo, it's funny because you guys don't hold each other accountable.
I'm going to get something to drink. I'll be right back.
You be right back.
These cops are at war with us.
Dude, they are. They're horrible.
People. Yeah.
Dude, I couldn't agree. The PD that just did that to him, when I went there, they had all their cars. They only have like parking on the road, like they back in the spots. And I think 6 cars, dude, were backed all the way up onto the sidewalk. Like you couldn't even get down it. Some were backed up all the way over the sidewalk. You couldn't even walk by. Which is, I mean, a lot of people don't care, but I got a blind niece, and she uses a dog to walk. She wouldn't be able to get down that road. Her dog won't go on the road. So Why are you parked on the sidewalk? You know what I mean?
Exactly. They
Like-
all park like assholes, dude. Everywhere
Yep,
they
and
go,
then-
they don't care if there's handicap spots or anything. They just park
No,
wherever they
absolutely
want
not. All
Wrong
like
way.
75% of their cars, had illegal tints. Like they were all pitch black tints on their personal cars.
to. Oh,
Like, when you guys-
definitely.
Yeah. Those
They don't
those
care about
license
the
plate things.
registration.
Yeah, they had those tinted license plate covers, so you could barely see their license plates.
Yeah,
Like
they'll pull us
80% of
over
their
for
cars
it.
had something wrong with them. And when I called them out on it, they wouldn't do anything. Oh, go inside, go inside. 2 people told me to go inside. You know what happened when I go inside? The dude assaulted me, broke my phone, broke my gimbal, cuffed me, detained me, searched
Yeah, they
me.
wanted you to go inside so there's less fucking witnesses to
It
beat
was,
you.
it was a setup. They got me. But
Uh-huh.
they're hip for that, You can't just do that to somebody. Like, and that's why they don't want to give us the records and stuff. Like, they know they're hit. But that's why when they go up there and they talk about, oh, we changed, we're doing better. Like, no, you're not. You just did that to me for nothing. Because I was looking through, they were mad. I was looking through the glass at a manila folder.
Yeah, woo. It's gang mentality. It's there's way too many cops, and when they get around each other, they're all trying to over ego each other and over talk each
true.
other. And
When
then
they
it's that
came
gang
out,
mentality. They get out of control.
He called for backup, and like 8 more came running out. And when they came running out, I'm like, this fucking loser just assaulted me. You know what I mean? Like, he's got the wrong person. And they all were like, no, you're wrong. And like it was a completely gang stuff. Like
They don't even have anything other than a narrative.
Yeah, that's what they called the police report, Ryan. It's a police narrative. There was no police report.
It's their little bullshit story that they came up with.
And Ryan, get this. I forgot about this layer. They didn't even have a report. When I called the Monday after, there was no report number. There was nothing.
Well, that's why we went there, because it seemed like they were failing to do their job. The guy didn't even write anything up. And then I was like, well, I want to make sure that whatever potentially may be written up today isn't backdated, too. I want to see, like, the system database files.
Well, and she swore. She was like, you can't do that. And then she started thinking about it, and she was like, question it after that.
Right, and she stonewalled us from records. And we still don't have a satisfied FOIA request.
It's true. It's insane.
Yeah. So, well, we've been at this for about 2 hours now. Is there anything you want to share before we start wrapping this up? Like, is there anything you want to get into?
I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm
thanks
tired,
for bringing me, guys. Thanks for bringing me in. That was cool to kind of share my story.
Yeah, no problem, Ryan. I
appreciate
appreciate it, man. Thanks for the support. Thanks for joining us.
Follow
along. This is going to be big.
Yo, that was crazy. So,
follow along. This will be pretty big. All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Let's run through the comment section to make sure I say shout out to everybody. Let's see.
Oh, Jay Laurel was on here. What up, bro?
Yeah. Yep. Laurel. Thank you. Jay Laurel. Conspiracy Music. Joe Cool again. Anon Mouse. Marcos Enriquez Jr. Yo! Critter Catcher. Tommy2274. Kristen Tila. Brendan Blount. Let's see.
What up, bro?
TJ Laddie.
I see you in here.
Fluffhead. Baru, thanks again for the super chat.
Baru's the man.
Ryan, thanks again for joining us, sir. John, Johnny D, Denicola, Denicola. That just seems wrong. Denisola.
Where is it?
This guy.
This is Denicola, I think it is.
Denicola.
Where?
Denicola. John Denicola.
Like that. It sounds like a soda.
Yeah, it's probably Denicola. I said Kristen Tila already. Who else we got in here?
Damn, my eyes shrunk, yo.
Jesus Christ in the house.
My eyes look like Tyrant Slayer's eyes now.
Jaloro. Hey, thanks.
Jay Laurel's the man.
Thanks. We'll see you guys next time, man.
Easy,
I'm
guys.
tired. My brain's not working anymore.
Thank you, Ryan.
Well,
peace,
we'll
guys.
catch you tomorrow. We got good things happening.
safe.
We're going to put a lot of time and energy into this, so stick with us, and
Tomorrow's going to be better.
we'll make it worth your time. Tomorrow will be much better. Until then, ciao for now. Be well, be swell.